everyone. This is Lone Star Lawman with another one of my informal videos on firearm reviews. I hope you enjoyed that little first segment because I went to the range the other day with a brand new gun that I got, and I would tell you that it is a Heckler Koch P2000, and it's in 9mm. But it also has a law enforcement modification trigger, LEM. Now I'll teach you all about that in just a few minutes about what the LEM trigger is all about. But first let's talk about the gun itself. As you can see here, it looks like a double action only, doesn't it? With a long trigger and what have you. But the P2000 is a gun that weighs about 25 ounces. It has a 3.66 inch barrel, and it holds a magazine of about 13 rounds, at least the largest ones they have now. I'll tell you all about those too, how they came about. But the first thing I want to go over with you primarily is the history of this gun. This is a brand new gun that I bought just recently, like I said, but it's an older model. It's a model that came out in late 2001. And what was happening in late 2001 in the United States of America? Well, we had just started the war on terror. And the American government was reacting to that, of course. And one of the things they did is they formed the Department of Homeland Security, changed Immigration and Naturalization Service to ICE, I-C-E, and also, of course, we always have the Border Patrol. But the reason why I mentioned those three agencies is because they became the part of the largest law enforcement contract purchase in U.S. history. And what was that gun that they wanted? The P2000. They ordered 65,000 of these. And they put it through now get this, they put it through a 3 million torture test. 3 million round torture test, I should say. And it came up a winner. It was competing with 5 different agencies, or I should say 5 different companies. So anyway, it became number one. And this particular model, the P2000, was supposed to be an upgrade, improvement from the USP, the HK USP, which is a great firearm. It showed up in the mid-90s, and it was produced, and it's still produced today. And the 2000 was really a big hit, obviously, at that time. However, in 2006, Heckler & Koch came out with the P30. And then in 2014, they came out with the VP9. I should say that the guns that was ordered by the government in 2000, I believe it was 2004 when that happened, they were all 40 caliber. This is a 9mm. Okay. One thing that you'll notice here, it has a pretty long slide release. Okay. It is ambidextrous. This gun is completely ambidextrous. It has one on the other side. One thing I want to point out to you, let me set it down a moment. Well, let me show it first. You notice these releasing levers here. There's one on each side. These are replacement ones, okay? The one that it came with was this one. This little small looking one here. Get it out. Just wants to stay in there, doesn't it? All right. This little one right here, you can, let me bring up to the camera really close. I want you to see how small they really are. You can see, yeah, you can see how small they are compared to what's on there now. Let's see if I can do that right. Okay, see that a little bit. Okay. Well, anyway, those are like were really small, and I literally had to release the slide. I mean the magazine. I literally had to pinch both fingers right here to make it go out. After practicing a lot with this, and when I took it to the range, is that for me, with this my hand size and everything, it helps me just either use the trigger finger or the middle finger, and it comes right out. No problem. I like to use the middle fingers as the strongest of the fingers, right? And it comes out pretty well, and I don't have to adjust my grip too much. Okay. It also comes with 3 different back straps. They are right here. What was on the gun when I got it was the medium size. See? And it just didn't seem to fit me as well. But when here's the extra large. Look how big this long gun is. Really large. And of course, here's the small one right here. This one really small. See those little indents at the top? That's so you can wrap your hand around better. But as you see those there, I'll show you the one I have on the gun now, which is the large. See how that goes on? It fit my hand a lot better. I'll show you. It's kind of fit in that hollow right there a lot better. Much better like that. Okay. All right. Well, move these out of the way. And I'll field strip this for you. And after I field strip it, I'll show you how the trigger works and everything. But to field strip this gun is not very hard. You see this little notch right here? This little notch lines up with this to make a square. You'll see here in a second. I hope you'll see. Let me get around here so you can see it better. Okay. Move it back to about right there to where it makes a perfect square. Right there. And you press on the button on the other side and it comes right out. Okay. Let it go forward. And then the whole thing comes right off. Okay. Let me get over around there where you can see it better. Okay. Here is the slide in the guide rod spring and rod. As you can see, it has a little white polymer buffer. I think that's to handle, like plus B loads or something like that, I've been told. I'm not sure. And it moves up and down when you're taking it apart and whatever. It doesn't matter. I've been told that you don't have to worry about the position of that. Now to take it off, of course, rest the side here and you just kind of pull up a little bit and boy, look at that. It just comes out real easy. Real easy. Okay. And then you push it forward with the barrel and up and out like that. Okay. You have a good look at the internals here. It does have, looks like it appears it does have a firing pin safety, it looks like. But of course, now you put up my usual Enos slide glide grease on it, on all the on the parts that I think will be rubbed up against the other metal. Okay, now show you the frame. Okay, I'm still learning about this gun, but you see that spring right there in the middle? Okay, that is part of the LEM mechanism. I'll tell you about that in a minute when I put the gun together. Okay, all right, let's put the gun back together. Okay. Oops, I have to put the put the barrel back in, huh? Lone Star Longman? Okay, there we go. Put the barrel back in. Then we put this in. I think that is all there is to it. How about that? Isn't that easy? Just make sure it's centered, of course. Then you put this back on. Go back to that square. Goes right back in. Pretty easy, huh? And of course it's cleared. It's been cleared. Okay, now I'm going to show you how the trigger mechanism works. In law enforcement, they're always worried about negligent discharges and safety, of course. As you can see, this doesn't have the hammer spur. It's been rounded off here, okay? This gun is known as the Variant 2, which is the LEM. It's the heavy LEM, which means the first trigger pull is about 7.5 pounds when it hasn't been pre-cocked, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. And then the Variant 1 is like half that, about 4 pounds, I believe, when it's pre-cocked or whatever, or when it's not pre-cocked. But when this gun, if you were to, right now it's on pre-cock because I racked the slide. I'll show you how that works in a minute again too. So I'm going to go ahead and just shoot it in the LEM configuration of pre-cock. And you notice there's a lot of play right here. A lot of play. All of a sudden you're doing this, and then you get to the wall, little pressure, hammer comes back on more, and then bang. Here's the reset. A little bit of a longer reset, and then bang again, but that's not bad at all. Let's try that again. Reset, and bang. Okay, now, if you let the trigger all the way out after your last round fired to where the rest position, that is what it's doing there, is decocking. So instead of having a decocking lever here or on the back here, like the Variant 3 has a actually decocking lever with a double action, single action trigger mechanism, where you fire the first shot, double action, and then single action afterwards. And this one kind of does the same thing, except the only difference is you don't have to decock it with a button back here, and the trigger is a little different, okay? All right, so here, let me show you how it looks like when you fire your last round and you don't have anything in the gun, you haven't racked the slide. Here's the about 7 pound trigger pull. See, really gotta pull the trigger on that one. And we'll keep doing that. Ugh. It's kind of heavy, I must tell you, but you get used to it. But the thing is, when you load it, you put a magazine in and then you rack it, then it's pre-cocked. So I sit here and I go back like this, and it's in pre-cocked. See how now that's real easy again? And then, of course, it fires. Okay. All right, and then let it ball back out when your last round's fired, and it's back to the heavy double action. It's kind of a safety thing, but if you're gonna rack the slide and load it anyway, you're back in the pre-cocked position. I think you're gonna like that anyway, like it that way, because that's the way you're gonna shoot it most of the time. This gun, like I told you, the historical thing about it with me is that it being an improvement from the USP, was what you're supposed to be, is the way it looks, the way it feels, and the trigger, the barrel length is just about right for me. One thing they changed on the P2000 that the USP didn't have, USP had a rail here, but it was a proprietary rail on HK USPs. This is the standard 1913 Picatinny type rail, where you can mount just about anything on there, as far as light wise, whatever, light or laser, whatever. Mostly people just put lights right there, of course. Being that it was first produced in late 2001, no, it does not have any milled areas up here for putting an optic. That's something you would probably have to pay more for. Um, Me, I haven't really been sold that much on optics, only because as a concealed carry holder, and your gunfights are like 5 yards or less, I don't, to me, people might differ. The optic, I don't think is going to be able to come out you and play or be able to bring it to eye level very quick enough in such a situation where somebody's trying to kill you. So it doesn't really matter to me. But optics are great though, especially for competition and longer range shooting. Police officers probably like it because when they make traffic stops, of course, there's going to be a little distance there, or when they're coming up on a suspect, might be a little distance. But I just never wanted to have one, but that's another story. It does come though with the tritium 3-dot night sights, front and rear. They glow nice and good for me, I can tell you that right now. Let me let you look at the muzzle of the gun. Here is this is part of the recoil spring, of course. It has been beveled on both sides here. I guess that's for ease of holstering. Oh, I almost forgot. A lot of people wonder, what are all the, this is a serial number, right? All right, okay, yeah, it's a serial number. I don't care if people see my serial number. Okay, it's not a big deal to me. But people say, what's this DE mean? Well, that is the German language abbreviation of Deutschland, which means Germany in English. Germany is, for us, is Germany in English. But in Germany itself, it's called, the actual pronunciation of the country itself is Deutschland, Deutsch, D-E, with a D-E. So that's why it has a D-E there. One thing I found interesting is when I went to try and look up and say, well, what's this stuff on the bottom mean or whatever? And I found out that this lettering system right here, I guess when it says CC, is part of a HK code of year of manufacture. Now this thing must have sat on a shelf for quite a while because they don't sell as many of them as they do. Like the VP9 is probably the hottest thing they got going out, and the P30. But CC means 22. So this was manufactured in 2022. I don't know why it's so overlooked and underappreciated myself. It just feels really good in the hand. As you put it right here, I put my little hand right there, thumbs forward, and as you saw in the beginning of the video, it shoots great. Learning how to shoot that LEM trigger was not that hard for me because I own a car, P9, that you've seen in one of the other videos, and it has a long striker. It's a striker trigger, but it's just a long, crisp break. This is similar, only and the difference is it hits a wall. It hits that wall. Instead, it's not a play here, but it hits that wall, and of course it'll go. Okay, all right. It comes with 3 magazines. These 3 magazines are 13 rounders. That's the largest one that it sells with the gun. I got the law enforcement basic setup. They do sell these with 10 round magazines and only 2 magazines. But the 2 variants of this gun that I'll just mention again, because I know y'all probably not familiar with it, is that this is the variant 2. The variant 3 is the single action only, and has a little button right here that you decock it when it's cocked all the way back. Okay, those are the 2 most common in the United States. Okay, all right. I will say that one thing I've liked about this is it's very accurate. I mean, super accurate. I shot 150 rounds at the range from that video that you saw, and fortunately it's a range I was able to shoot double taps, which always works best for me, because as a concealed carrier and a former law enforcement officer, getting into a rhythm when you're shooting in combat. And that helps you stay focused and keep on target. At least it does for me. And I enjoyed going to that range and shooting those double taps as you saw. Okay, let me put this down for a second and show you the box that came in. This apparently is the standard box that they all come in. I don't know if you can see that real good. Okay, I'll put it over there where I can see it a little better. There you go, I can see it. There you go. Of course, it opens up, and then the back portion is under the phone is the owner's manual right here. Get it to you where you can see it. Okay, really nice owner's manual. It also talks about not just the 2000, but the 2000 SK, which is a shorter version. It is a like 3.2 inch barrel. And this, of course, the 2000 is 3.66. Okay, nice photographs. You can also go online and download a PDF of this version of this manual. And notice it says operator's manual, not instruction manual, operators. Okay, all right. Before I go, I want to tell you that there'll be a part 2 of this gun. I've ordered some accessories and some little things that add to the gun that, of course, won't change its appearance or anything like that, but something that you'll like to see, I'm sure, when it comes in. And that video will be coming up probably within another couple of weeks or so. I've ordered the accessories, but as you know how the mail is and everything, takes a while, and I only ordered it on Monday, so today is a Wednesday, and I haven't even gotten an update yet, so hopefully I'll get that one today. But when I get everything back, and I'll lay it out here on the table, and we'll show you how everything works, and show you how much you like the P2000. By the way, this is my very first Heckler Koch firearm. Don't know why I waited all these years not to buy one until now. But I can tell you one thing, this thing just drips with quality. And and one thing before I forget to tell you, it has a polygonal barrel. Makes it more accurate. As I've been told. I mean, Glocks have polygonal barrels too, but this one's like really cold. It's cold forged, and so that means it's made very, very well. Okay. All right. Before I go, let me put this in here, and we'll rack it so it locks pretty good. Show you a little more demonstration of the magazine going in and out. Bang, bang, bang. Come out with my middle finger right there. You see it. It's different from the push button in the American guns, but you can do it pretty quick. If you'll practice a little bit. Okay. Bang. Okay. All right. That is really all I have to say about this fantastic pistol. And I hope you all enjoy it. And I'll see you next time with part 2 of the Heckler Koch P2000 9mm. All right, see y'all.